how was Halloween?
Halloween's great.
Did you do the Terminator again?
Yeah.
Can't do it twice, right?
I mean, it is just one Halloween.
Okay, fair enough.
I had two costumes planned, but save it for another time.
Who did your front yard?
You know, my front yard, it was a little bit of collaboration with Madness FX.
So, what was it like to actually hear from
The Terminator? It's sick. I mean, growing up, being a huge Arnold fan, loving a lot of his work, so it's great to get a little bit of praise from him.
Will you ever maybe get a chance to get a photo with him with you in your costume?
I mean, maybe. I don't know what kind of life he's leading over there on the West Coast, but I'm sure he's up to doing movies and all kinds of stuff. So whenever life slows down for both of us, maybe so.
When do you decide what your team is for? You do this every year. Do you know before the season starts? Or is
Way
it
before the season starts.
Okay.
Like March, April, like we're already like discussing how we're gonna do the yard and everything, how we're gonna build it out.
Now, Joel said you have the resources to win the costume contest around here all the time. Can you share with us how much it costs to make something?
Who knows?
Talking about Hollywood, how about the Chargers tackles? How are they going to take
It's a hell of a second. Good job, Aaron.
They're both looking really good right now.
Just, I mean, what separates them from what differentiates those two?
I'm not taking anything away from what they're doing or how talented they are. I think the run game and the mix of play action helps keep teams off balance, and that helps get them into a good rhythm. That run pass option gets guys a little bit out of that rush mindset, and I think that lets them be a little bit more susceptible. Those guys also handling business when they have to. So it's a combination of both.
First of all, you're piling up the sacks. I think it's been 4 games since you had one. First of all, do you get frustrated by that?
I mean, yeah, but it's part of the game. It's not the entirety of the position and what it's called to do. Getting pressure, getting disruptions, and making plays all across the field. That has to be the mentality when the sacks aren't there, when teams are doing everything to keep me from being on the stat sheet in that particular column. I got to fill up the column in other ways.
And when you talk about like the balance that the Chargers have that helps out their tackles, how important is it to have 3rd and longs and being a lead in the 4th quarter where all you have to worry about is going after the quarter?
I mean, that would be huge. That's not something they particularly have wanted to do all year. So they played a little bit more of a ground game, a little bit more conservative, and got to get them on 2nd and long, 3rd and long, so we can really pin our ears back and take control of the game.
When we talked to Jim Schwartz, he mentioned that even though they don't count as sacks, but tackles for loss are just as good as sacks. And you have had a couple of those over the last few weeks. Do you kind of see that the same way too? That it's not just about getting sacks, even though that's what fans and everyone pays attention to?
Yeah, I mean that's what everyone talks about and pays attention to. But those are still big plays that set the offense back, and gives us good field position and can be takeaways in themselves. So every time we get a chance to get the ball carried on the ground, it's about getting the ball away. So trying to turn those into big plays as much as sacks are.
You guys are no strangers to injuries, but to have guys like Jeremiah and Jordan out in the linebacker room especially, how have you seen the defense kind of respond this week knowing that these guys are dealing with that and aren't going to be out there?
And like you said, we're no strangers to this, and guys have had a next man up mentality for a while now. Knowing that you can get your opportunity at the drop of a hat, and you got to be ready. You got to be even ready, to be playing a little bit out of position. And guys have really shown that attention to detail and willingness to step up to the plate and make plays when we need them. So it's been different, but looking forward to seeing those guys back, but also looking forward to seeing their replacements go out there and make a name for themselves.
Miles, the trade deadline is coming up on Tuesday, and some guys here getting mentioned in trade.
I'm sure everybody's got mentioned.
But anyways, my question is, how have you enjoyed playing with Z over these couple of years? What does he mean, to your defense and just you two as friends and teammates? What has he meant to kind of you?
Well, I'm gonna continue to play with Z, so I'm not too worried about throwing out my pleasantries and compliments now. I'll be able to tell him at the end of the year.
But I mean, he's got 5 sacks this season. He's having a nice season, off to a faster start than he was last year.
Is indeed.
When I asked about that, he just said he feels better in this defense this year. So I'm just curious, like, what are you seeing in him out there?
I'm seeing him do the same things as last year. Just making those plays that got away from him, that slipped away last year. And we talked, all throughout the year about all those plays that were right at our fingertips and that we could have possibly turned into big plays, and he's turned those over.
Miles, looking at the Ravens, I mean, obviously Harbaugh is head coach now, but the 2 top backs now are ex-Ravens. Like, do you see similarities on film with some stuff they do offensively that you guys are familiar with from Baltimore over the years?
For sure, there's a little bit of Harbaugh connection. So the game plan is similar, but not the same. And we'll have to stop the run, similar to how we did last week, and make that priority before we can get after the passer. And that was much the case with the Ravens. We had to really slow Derrick Henry as much as we could, get a lead, and then we really had some passing opportunities, and it'll be much like that this week.
Miles, do you feel like there's, coming off that win, Ravens, that there's a breath of fresh air breathed into the locker room, just, to get that losing streak behind you, and just feel like that maybe you guys can hit the reset button here?
It was a nice gasp of air, but we still laying on the table. We gotta get another one before we get this thing really rolling. We gotta start streaking, and I think this locker room will really turn around, and guys really understand what we have and what we can do this season.
Jack mentioned trying to move you around to get you, the opportunities as a pass rusher. Is there any relief when you move inside, or to still get as many guys, maybe bigger bodies, trying to double and triple team you?
I don't particularly care where I'm lined up. And as long as I can find a spot where I can get ahead of steam, I can get rolling, I get a move off before I get clipped, chipped, or whatever. That's what I'm looking forward to. If that's not going to be what I get that day, then it's what it is. It's got to find a way to win. But whether it's inside or outside, I'm going to go out there and try to make a play.
It's along the lines of just like the mentality of the locker room after the win last week. Just how much can this one, the bye week looming, chance for you guys to kind of get off your feet and sort of find a home stretch, if you will, that waits on the other side? How much can this one kind of set the tone for what awaits you guys the rest of the way to get this one?
I think this one, when we get this one, completely changed the atmosphere around the team. So I think this is a big one for us, and we have to go ahead and secure this, go into the bye week, recover, get some guys back, and then go into these next weeks knowing that they're pretty much all playoff games.
How do you keep that intensity coming off of rest on your board?
You look at our record and realize we got a long way to go, but it's only one at a time. You got to take it one practice day at a time, one meeting at a time, and then take all that to game day and execute.
What can you say about Justin Herbert's arm talent and just how well he's doing?
I mean, as far as arm talent, he's one of the very best in the league, and he's feeling a lot healthier, a lot more willing to scramble and use his legs. He's strong in the pocket. He's got a strong presence in there. He's not too afraid of the rush, and he's going to throw even with a guy or two hanging on him. So we've definitely got a healthy amount of respect for Justin.
Coaches have praised the depth on the interior defensive tackles and how they've played, and how that contributes to some guys not even being able to be on the field. How have you seen that unit help this defense and maybe even help you specifically?
I mean, they've been firm. We've had injuries in there as well, and they've done the job as well as we could hope for. But that's run our pass. So continue to get those guys healthy, feeling good, and put them in position to win. But they've been taking on double teams and getting off blocks better than we've seen them before. So super proud of those guys.
Thanks a lot, Mike.